In the fourth way system, which George Gurdjieff and Peter Ouspensky taught, there's a term called essence. And this refers to how we are when we are born as human beings. And essence has a physical aspect and a metaphysical aspect. The physical aspect is our body chemistry, our general physical makeup, our innate tendencies, our talents, our psychological impulses or traits, you could call them, that we are born with. And these don't change during our life. And they can get covered over considerably by personality, which is taught to us through education and religion and family and training, professional careers, things like that. The metaphysical aspect of essence is simple awareness. And this is what many teachings are referring to when they say discovering your true nature or realizing your true nature. They're referring to this simple awareness. As human beings, we are aware, but we take it for granted that we are aware. And this doesn't just mean vision. It means through all the senses. The senses by themselves are just like doorways or like tentacles, but what uses them is awareness, this thing called awareness. And we take it for granted. It's always there. And it is not aware as itself as awareness. And the reason for this is something that the fourth way calls identification. And you can think of it like psychological gravity. It means that this awareness, which is characteristically unaware of itself, is constantly being pulled into, drawn into, lured into our thoughts, our feelings, our sensations, and also into things in the outer world, to objects, to any kind of form. Awareness sees things, and in seeing things, you could say that it goes out and gets things with awareness, and it clutches them, and it attaches itself to them, and it tries to possess them many times. We want to possess money. We want to possess health. We want to possess wealth. We want to possess other people. We want to possess reputation. We want to possess material goods. And we're always going out, clutching, grabbing, possessing. And then we get attached to the extent that we start to establish an identity in these things and in relation to all these things, be they in our inner world or in our outer world. And this establishing of identity in relation to things and in things is what the fourth way calls identification, for that reason. And so really what spiritual awakening is this awareness, first of all, learning to recognize itself. And when this happens, instead of it just being pulled out in this gravitational form, in a gravitational way, toward things and away from itself, the core of itself, it begins to neutralize its own, you could call it chemistry. And now instead of just being aware of things and always attaching to things and going after things, which is so immediate for us, we're so accustomed to this, it's a habit. But instead of this, awareness starts to neutralize its own chemistry simply by being now aware as this awareness. And it's a very simple, gentle, it's not a harsh, it's not a physical, instinctive energy that projects itself or impresses other people with. It's not magnetism, personal magnetism. It's not any kind of energy like that. It's not even charisma, what some people call charisma. Although that can be a characteristic of the physical side of essence, charisma. But this metaphysical aspect has nothing to do with that. It's simply perceiving. And so now this energy is neutralizing. And what spiritual awakening implies after that is, or beyond that, is now this awareness is not just neutralizing the tendency to go out of itself, to leave itself, but to now withdraw itself back into its source. This is very uncommon among human beings. And this is why enlightenment, awakening, self-realization is so rare. Despite the fact that we live in an age where all of these ideas about awakening and enlightenment are being promulgated, many people can speak eloquently about it. There's a lot of different systems of knowledge, teachings, Eastern and Western, old and new, and it's easy to wrap words around it and make it all kind of fashionable and comprehensible to the mind. But what we're talking about, this metaphysical aspect of essence, this awareness, has nothing to do with words, has nothing to do with thoughts or emotions, physical sensations, movement, energy. It's beyond all of those things, encompassing all of them, really. So one thing you can try to do is when you look at your world around you, be it a piece of furniture or a bouquet of flowers or another person or a landscape, try not to go out and get whatever you're looking at. Or if you're listening to music, try not to go out and get the sounds of the music. When you taste your food, try not to go out and get the taste. Instead, stay home as awareness and let all of these impressions and sensations come to you. Let the flower arrangement come to you. Let it be the flower arrangement. You stay home looking at it and let it just come to you. Do the same with the landscape. Or when you're talking with someone and you're listening to them, try not to go out and get what they're saying. Stay at home, attentive, aware, and let the words they are transmitting come to you and into you. And there's a special quality about awareness it's hard to describe in words, but this is a more conscious way of living. When awareness stays home, to use that expression, and just opens up, welcomes, allows everything to come into it, to it and into it. And it's funny, I just realized the word intuit. And actually, that's not an accident, it seems to me, in the English language, the word intuit, that things come into it, into awareness. And awareness then perceives things differently about what it sees. And this is also true in relation to our thoughts and our emotions, be it the turmoil of emotion or even wonderful religious emotions, feelings of love, whatever, all of these things, and our physical sensations, pain, hunger, pleasure, pleasant sensations, all of them, to let them come into the awareness of them. Instead of awareness becoming aware of those things and going out and getting them, grabbing them, clutching them, holding on to them, to let everything come. And as it comes, to try not to hold it. Don't try with awareness to hold on to anything. Don't try to hold on to another person or an object or your reputation or even your wealth. And don't hold on to your poverty either. Don't hold on to your health. Don't hold on to your sickness. Whatever they are, let them just come in, come to you, and stay home. There's also another side to this, which is often when there's a feeling of something's missing, there's a feeling of unease, or there's something lacking. something's wrong, something's not right, there should be something more in my life, or I'm bored. Things don't seem interesting, they seem flat. All of these sensations and emotions and thoughts, you can think of them as cues from awareness. Awareness almost calling, using these as signals to let you know that it's not home. It wants to come home. It's homesick to be itself as awareness. And so when you feel discontent, uneasy, there's a dis-ease in you, as I say, you feel you're lacking something, or there's something boring, or by the same token, you feel you always need to be doing something. You need to stay busy. You can't just sit still. And it's an agitation. And this agitation takes all these different forms, but they are all symptoms of identification. Awareness is attached to things, and it's also very much attached to the future, which is just an idea. The idea of the future can equally be attached to its idea of the past. And all of this agitation is a signal that awareness is not at home, at peace. And so you want to then try to do something with your life, your moments, to allow awareness to be home, to come home, and to stay home as itself. And really all the great religions of the world, of history, this is what they're talking about. When you look at it psychologically, when you look at it from the perspective of the inner world and inner dimensions, higher dimensions of consciousness. And it's what all the great spiritual teachings, all of them, are speaking to, pointing to, trying to explain, trying to provide support for. It's not about the person. It's not about I, me, what I want. It's awareness itself. And when this is understood, and when this agitation can be neutralized, and awareness can restore itself, we could say that when it can restore itself as simple awareness right here, right now, despite whatever is happening, pleasant or unpleasant, good or bad, likable or unlikable, whatever it is, awareness is just seeing it and perceiving it and becoming more and more conscious as itself.